Personal, cause the devil is a lie. Eh. I'm telling you the truth. Eh. It's all in what you do. Hey, some things you gotta do. Hey, 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 hey. Barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. So we're gonna unpack a lot of shit, and we go live tonight, 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We're gonna be in there tonight with Cheryl Dorsey. We're gonna talk about the debate. Feel free to join Patreon, Barbershop Conversations on Patreon and Spotify, all that good stuff. Yeah. So I'm gonna use Floyd Mayweather's name to bring home some points. So expect 3, 4, 5 videos on Floyd Mayweather, but I'm just gonna leverage his name, such as a promoter leverages his fighters, right? So I can make some points today. Since y'all done DM'd it to me a handful of times, and Floyd gonna make y'all click. Cause we got some we got people who just love Floyd regardless, and on both sides of the fence. So they're dying to hear what obviously a very opinionated person like me has to say about this subject. Floyd Mayweather says he's a proud black man. Floyd Mayweather also said the police officers deserve death or life in prison. Couldn't agree with him more. The only addition I would add to it is a public stoning, public execution. If I was a politician, I would advocate for public execution. If you're going to execute, you might as well do it on City Hall lawn, right? Floyd Mayweather has been through a lot this year, and the human side of me feels for him. 2 people died within a month. I didn't really have a relationship with Roger. Like I said, I just interviewed him. I was working for the newspaper then. So I just get sound bites from him and send it to my editor and move forward. His mother of his kids passed away. Never met her. But she's the mother of the kids. So you never know how the kids are going to respond to that. You never know how Floyd is going to respond to that. His daughter, Yaya, has some legal issues. She's currently pregnant, I believe. He's going through the gamut emotionally, and the human side of me feels for him. And I'm gonna, so it's gonna lead. We're about to have a Britannica today on Floyd, because I know y'all niggas love Floyd. Y'all niggas love Floyd. So I'm about to leverage this shit same way I leverage my equity and buy more property. The reason why I don't like to say like, oh man, how could you disrespect Floyd or Floyd? No, it wasn't. The point it was culture supersedes relationships, right? It's important that you have a circle of, Floyd is definitely not in my circle, but I just don't receive people who are disrespectful to the culture well. And I'm not perfect at it. By no means am I saying I'm God. I have mixed kids. I've been to jail. I cheated in college. You know what I mean? I've disappointed a lot of women. So I'm not saying woe is though, woe is I, I'm just saying you get to a certain age and you get to a certain status where you got to be black. And I just, my internal clock don't allow me to, and this is just me. This is not an attack on anyone else. This is how I live my life. And so I this is a one-on-one experience. I rather not be around them. And I will call them on their bullshit. And you say, Fred, why didn't you call them? I called and it went to voicemail and I text him. And I left the text. He probably changed his number 4 or 5 times since the last time I had his cell phone number. And I didn't want to text his assistant who does an extraordinary job with him because I think men talk to men. Because if I tell the woman, then you start playing telephone. Well, this nigga said this nigga said that. Now, Kichi does an extraordinary job with what her responsibilities is, and I thought it would be man of me to call Floyd to be like, hey, you want some bullshit? And I didn't know if he changed his number. It was an 818 number. I don't know if he still has that number or not, but I didn't get a response. But I did text my sentiment before I did all those videos. Like, Floyd, I think this is wrong. I think this is not cute. Um, I think you need to put the culture before your selfish tendencies. And um, and so I did that. And then I proceeded. I didn't get a response. I probably waited a week, 2 weeks. You guys know how long I waited for that Gucci shit and that Colin Kaepernick shit because I think he deserves that, right? And I would do that for anybody, you know. Um, um, and I just think the disrespect was just too much from the Donald Sterling to the Donald Trump, and then you say Colin Kaepernick needs to worry about getting his starting position, and all lives matter. And the reason why he said all lives matter, I'm gonna tell you why. One of the reasons why he felt comfortable, and this is no shade on them, but this is why important black people need to interview with black people. It wasn't no cultural responsibility. Sean he was on the Boxing Voice then. He was interviewing him there, and I think Ellie was there. It was after a Friday night fight, I believe, at Sam's Town. And it was no cultural accountability. You know, it doesn't matter how tough the interviewer is or how he feels. Um, I think it's just important that we understand that there's a spiritual accountability, and I think Shannon Sharp has that spiritual accountability with Floyd, regardless of their relationship. But you can't just tell a black man all lives matter to his face in this climate, right? Then that opens up a whole new can of worms. And um, but that was my issue with it. It has nothing to do with disrespect. Obviously, Fight Hype tried to entangle some shit and say some things, and I don't care about that because I'm my own man. Floyd doesn't pay me. I'm not on Floyd Mayweather's payroll. My life isn't contingent upon getting anything from Floyd. You understand? And that's with anybody in my life. Everybody will tell you Fred pays for everything. And that's because I never want someone to walk up to me. Remember, I did this for you, especially in my grown man phase. I'm really grown right now, and I don't accept that. You know, for those you Sam Watson, I always offer to pay. Sam always wants to pay. I debate him, and I just do it a different way. You understand? I'll buy him something. He pays for my dinner every time we go out. It's always a group of people, and I always offer. So I'll buy Sam something or some of his friends or pay that other way because I think it's just incredibly important when you're dealing with gracious people. And Sam and when Floyd goes out, he's very gracious. He'll pay for everything. And I do give him credit for that. Sam is the same way. Sam Watson, that is. And so there was nobody owing anything. I think that I I got a lot of phone calls about that shit. And it was I just the character of a man bothers me when you have your platform and you're supposed to say certain things. You just have to. And in this America, you have to. I don't care who you are, what you say, how you do it. You have to say something in your voice. You don't have to be as aggressive as me. You can be cool like LeBron James. You can be, what I mean. But I think it's just imperative that you do. And so Floyd said he's a proud black man. And the past few months, the past few months, he's been he's gaining more confidence being that. I don't know where it's gonna take him. I don't know if he's gonna flip the script again because he always say black people don't support black people. Um, but he does things that make black people not support him or say negative things about him. I do recognize the fact that he wore a TMT hat. I think the shirt said money. Genius. He probably sold 5,000 units of shirts and hats just doing that interview because I think Shannon Sharp has a huge platform. He's probably going to cut that video up and, you know what I mean, and do it the right way. Um, I'm going to unpack a whole lot of shit. He talked from Terrence Crawford, but let me stay here. Um, how do you define being a proud black man? And that's who you should be. All right. Your spirit is going to forever talk to you. You're not going to be like your spirit and the ancestors will not allow you to, let's say, break the code. It will encourage you to stay on code. And I think Floyd is going through that as we speak. You know, I don't think money moves him as much. I don't think you get to a certain age where you done fucked all the most beautiful women in the world. You know what I mean? I think that he has accomplished a lot. He's a top 4 pound for pound, not pound for pound, top 4 best fighter in the history of the sport. 3, if you want to go that low, you know, without a shadow of a doubt. I've never bet against Floyd. I've never rooted against Floyd. I bet Floyd blindly his last 15 fights, easy. If you knew me, you knew I was in Vegas on Floyd's fights. Um, betting thousands of dollars, bet him blind. You know, man, I was thankful for Manny Pacquiao. That's the lowest odds I ever got Floyd at. Um, I think that Conor McGregor, I had to bet 5,000 to win 1,000. Yeah, ridiculous. Um, so I've always been the fan of Floyd. I've been fortunate enough to meet him. I've been fortunate enough to spend some time with him, and uh, and I think no matter who you come across, and I think we need to understand this as a whole, as a culture. And people's voices, platforms are bigger than others, right? My platform is definitely not bigger than Floyd's. It's definitely not bigger than Shannon Sharp's. Yet the spirit of the man, I wouldn't say equal, but they're parallel in terms of being black, in terms of the importance of manhood. And I think that on a certain level, Floyd lost his way. Uh, he lost his way in terms of manhood and being a man. And I can't speak on the abundance of wealth and power that he has that he has obtained because I have yet and probably will never ever attain that, you know. So it sways you in a certain direction. And they they say where a man stores his treasures, there he will be. Because you got to protect it, right? And he's been very materialistic, right? That's how he sold himself and genius promotion because it got him to be $1 billion. But when I was watching the Manny Pacquiao fight, I I stay silent, yet I see things. And I forget the guy's name from Idaho. I mean, not Idaho, but Omaha. Not Bernie Sanders, but the guy that looks like Bernie Sanders, that one of the richest men in the world. He came around Floyd during that fight. And I was like, OPMs is the best, one of the better forms of business in the history of this existence. And when Floyd said, and then he started saying, I have a real estate portfolio in Manhattan and this and that, I realized that quite possibly he did business with that man. I forget the man's name, man. Everybody knows his name but me right now. Uh, he looks like Bernie Sanders. Fuck, what's his name? And it'll come to me. And so I encourage Floyd Yeah, be a black man. And you've amassed a great amount of wealth. You've amassed great relationships like Shannon Sharp. You've able to do. Now, what you gonna do with your treasures? Your mouth is great. Mouth is spectacular. With the words that are coming out of your mouth sound great right now. And yes, you had your hat on and your shirt. Beautiful. And I know we can't stray away because no matter what I do, I still have Gucci, Louis, and all that shit. I'm not buying anymore, but I still have 20, 30, 40 pairs of designer goods, 300 pairs of Nikes. The list goes on, right? And what are we going to do moving forward? And I hope and pray that Floyd becomes consistent. He paid for George Floyd. He's like the funeral whisperer. I say that humbly, right? He pays for everyone's funeral. He paid $88,000 for George Floyd's funeral. I think that's beautiful. $88,000 is nothing to sneeze at. you know, I uh, I hope the story gets better. I hope that he maintains being a black man. You know, one day it may happen in 10 years, like because my platform is going to be ginormous in 10 years. Um, when Floyd is just a promoter, we gonna sit down and have a conversation. It ain't gonna happen now. He has an ego, and Fight Hype has told him some things about me, and I'm comfortable with that because, like I said, I unlocked the key to my door, and I'm very comfortable with that. And in time, y'all gonna get to see this interview one day. It's gonna happen in 10 or 15 years if we're both still here, and that's gonna be the reality of it. And it's gonna come full circle, and you guys are gonna greatly appreciate that. And hopefully, it becomes a conversation that bonds us closer, that bonds us, that makes us stronger. You know what I mean? and because at the end of the day, all we want to do is love and protect our family and grow as a culture. That's the underlining love that we have with one another and connection. Um, so that's where I'm at with this, man. I do I believe him? I mean, I believe more on being a humanitarian than believing Floyd. You get what I'm saying? He's going to have to be a little more consistent. You know what I mean? He's going to have to publicly do things. You know, you publicly do everything else. And that's just the reality of it. You know, I'm very vocal. I was silent until I was about 37, 38 about a lot of things that I've done in my community and moving forward. But then I realized black men don't get credit for being men. And I don't ever want to be compared to a white man. I just want black men to know that the new sitting at the club table is helping your brother, man. That's the new that's the new shit. You know what I mean? That's that ish right now. You know what I mean? Being a great friend, being a great brother, you know, that's better than drinking bottles on a rented couch. you know what I mean? And you don't even drink. So uh it's a beautiful thing, man. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know I'm very active. I'm in the process of looking to it's hard. The hardest thing I've ever done is find a bank that would take me and my business partners portfolios. You know, everybody wants to charge us, but I'm like, we're giving you millions of dollars. We just want to transfer it over and we don't want no favors. We just want the same interest rates that we can get. It's not an overnight process when you've been in this white system for so long. But in terms of my private money, yeah, I'm getting them out of you guys know I'm closing my Wells Fargo account. And that's why I said where a man stores his treasures, where he and his heart will be. And um I took $25,000 over to um First One United. Um and every month I circulate hundreds of thousands of dollars through through that bank. And hopefully they do great things with it. Hopefully the next Michael Thompson, the next Tyrone Williams, hopefully the next Sandra Washington, hopefully that they're able to benefit from that. And I'll never know, but that's the circulation because it's cyclical. Okay. And that's where that's what we should be on. Now we're online on social media debating which white man loves us the most. Who's the better presidential candidate? Who's a better boss? You arguing with your coworker because he makes $2 more than you. Mm-mm. You and your coworker should be coming up with a plan to duplicate this business model and then circulating it in your community. That's what I did. Simple. Every secretary at every job should own their own business because that's all I'm saying. So anyhow, man, so that's where I'm at with Floyd. I can come down and give y'all this rah 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 shit. It probably will come, and I have every right to do so. You know what I mean? And but I'm anxious, not anxious. I'll be listening because he's gonna do it. No, well, he doesn't have that accountability with Fight Hype. He dictates the interviews on Fight Hype, but I'm very interested to see him do an interview with Shannon Sharp in a year from now. I'm very interested for him to do an interview with someone that'll hold him accountable, and the interviewer accountable as well. I like those interviews when I got to be sharp. I love them. I love them when the motherfuckers coming at me. I'm like last night in the barbershop. Y'all tried it. Y'all tried it. Good luck with that shit. Oh man, y'all don't know if I'm not in front of this computer. I'm in my library. All I do is read, research, watch YouTube, all that shit. You know what I mean? So and live life. It's not a wordsmith competition. It's also learning the truth because I have to. Me personally, I have to unlearn. Y'all saw the last scene in Higher Learning, unlearn with the American flag on it, unlearn. So, anyhow, man, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all, Floyd. Be black for the rest of your life. Be a rich black man the rest of your life. Be a wealthy, powerful black man the rest of your life, and I will support you from afar. Floyd, to tell you, I've never been in a club with Floyd on his dime. I've seen him. I purposely never went. I purposely never went to a Deontay Wilder after party. Did I want to go? Yeah, of course. I didn't go to his after party with Tyson Fury. I lied and said I was tired. I didn't go to Earl Spence party in LA. Not that I don't want to go, but you know what I mean? It is what he had an after party here somewhere in LA. I forget. I had an invite. I could have got in free. I chose not to go. You know? That doesn't change where I go in the future. But I'm just saying that's not really my thing, you know. So anyways, man. Barbershop conversations, man. Be be a proud, beautiful, strong black man for your kids need you. Your daughter love you, man. She wants you to be her superhero. As my man Boo Blood would say, Boo Blood Sport. She's crying for you to be her superhero right now. And be a great grandfather, be a great father. And as I'm talking about Floyd, I'm in retrospect or thinking about myself. I gotta be a great black man to my kids, and I'm gonna catch it from both sides. You know, oh, maybe he's not black enough. How the fuck can I be too black? Dre is Asian. Kids half black, half Asian. I get all of that, and everyone has their own battles, and I encourage everybody to deal with them, get on the other side, and make sure you're victorious. All right, and that's it, man. I make sure your window is open to your soul, man. Make sure your window is open to your soul. please make sure your window's open to your soul, man. Ain't nothing like seeing a person offering their spirit to you. You know what I mean? It's nothing like it when you meet someone and they just so vulnerable and so positive at the same time and so giving. That's the transition Floyd, I think, is working towards. You understand what I'm saying? He didn't mention his net worth in the first time ever I've ever heard it. No man is not going to go an hour and a half and not talk about how successful he is. Come on, let's just be clear. All right. And I watched the whole interview, just got done. And no man is going to go 90 minutes about saying how he was a great quarterback or a great trainer or a great basketball player or I helped this person. Don't ever expect that from a man. You know what I mean? They're going to say it in so many words. And, but yeah, be a great black man. I'm rooting for you, Floyd. Rooting for you, Floyd. And that's all I got to say, man. I'm thinking the same things y'all thinking. Don't get me wrong. I'm thinking, oh, this nigga betrayed it. I'm thinking the same fucking things you're thinking. But maybe he turned the corner the last 4 months. He's been sounding different. That's all I'm going to say. Barbershop Conversations, man. I appreciate y'all. Hashtag we are one. If you make it to the end of the video, mate, we are one. It's my favorite song, man. That's my favorite song. I actually saw them in concert with Jared Hurd's father, who's also named Frederick. And we had a great time. We was on stage and shit. It was a great time. Myself, Maxine Waters, Sam Watson, and a whole bunch of other celebrities and shit that I was fortunate enough to meet thanks to great men like Fred Hurd and Sam Watson. So anyhow, man, Barbershop Conversations. We are one. Hashtag. And Leonard Ellerby, start holding them accountable. You've been holding that nigga down. Let's start holding each other accountable, nigga. We got to be black and strong moving forward. And we need our black, successful elite being black, spending black, acting black, talking black. You know what I mean? And let's go. And Barbershop Conversations. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.